It is April 24th, 2018. This is the Wrestling Guild. Welcome to the show. So, Nick, how are you doing today?
Yeah, all good. It's soon summer, man.
It is soon summer.
It's not that many weeks left.
No.
Seriously. Like, straight up with you. And I'm really happy. So yeah, let's
talk about some wrestling. Yes, my name is Chris Mary Holtman. With me I have Nick E. Anderson. We're going to talk about Impact Wrestling from the 19th of April, and we're going to end it by talking about Lucha Underground versus Impact. That was at WrestleCon in April. Actually, speaking of WrestleCon, they opened with a recap from WrestleCon. There's been, obviously they have to talk a little bit about what happened between Alberto El Patron and Austin Aries, and it seems like, and the thing was, what I was kind of thinking was that they're giving this so much publicity with Alberto that it's just like, maybe it's just a work. Maybe it's not real. But I haven't heard anything. Redemption was Sunday, and we haven't heard anything about Alberto returning, so I'm guessing that's...
Yeah, because I was thinking, why are they showing us this? They could just edit it out, so... I don't know. If he's already terminated, why do you want to show more of him?
Oh, I think they just want to... I think it builds a little bit of excitement, and it builds a little bit of controversy when they do that. But we start the match. Actually, it did get me hyped for Redemption.
Yeah, it was quite cool. It was well made.
We start with an intergender tag team match. It was interesting that they said that, because usually you have a mixed tag team match. In a mixed tag team match, the men fight the men and the women fight the women. But this is an intergender tag team match, which means that men can fight women and women can fight men.
So
it was Sooyoung and Braxton Sutter, the new power couple of Impact Wrestling, versus Kiera Hogan and Falaba.
No.
He really is getting a lot of play. They're pushing him, but the thing is that they're not pushing him that he's going to be to any kind of championship status. They're just pushing him in the mid card, in the middle.
And I think he's doing a great work. Like in this match, Falaba was doing really well. And he improves himself for each week, for each taping they do.
I think also that he connects with the crowd. I think that's the important part. I think that being a wrestler, half the gimmick is doing those things, like he does, like the no, or the ba ba ba, stuff like that. Kiera Hogan is fun to watch too. So this was a good match. I did find that Kiera Hogan and Sooyoung were both. It was a little bit sloppy at times, but I did think it was fun to see the women fighting the men.
Absolutely.
So.
The thing is with Sooyoung, I don't get the same feeling as Rosemary.
No,
it's not the same.
But
thing.
I think that's good too, because it needs to be a different type of character, don't you think?
Sure, but it's Rosemary is more like of a random crazy person, and she's more like just a bit scary with some makeup.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anyway, Sooyoung hits the panic switch for the win. Ali comes out and attacks her after the match. Ali looking good here in a different type of outfit.
Yeah, she tries. Ali would never come out and hit someone in the face. So,
but the thing is, what I think is funny, and we were talking about. I don't know if I think that maybe Ali's wrestling outfit really compliments her that much.
Yeah, but it's Ali though. You can't really.
I guess so.
It's
Anyway, so Ali attacks her after match, setting up their feud for Redemption. LAX is hanging out in the clubhouse. No, this was the Pluto TV rewind.
That was next level stuff. It's always crazy with these Pluto rewind. We have some. Was it Rhino?
It was Rhino versus the founder of TNA, Jeff Jarrett, fighting for the NWA title.
Yeah, we're going for it. This is the thing. Why can't we see this? You're saying, I remember you always say, like, well, people died at a much earlier age, or their body wouldn't.
But I think they're heading towards that way again. I think it takes a little time. But I think they're getting there.
Okay.
Rhino anyway won the NWA championship
In a crazy way.
LAX is in the clubhouse. They talk about Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
Conan says that he can't be trusted. And then I thought there was a little bit dissension.
In what way? Dude.
Well, I think you see Santana was trying to grab that briefcase.
Yeah, and he can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was wondering if they're going to try to split Santana from LAX.
Maybe because Santana looked at them like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
But yeah, they just want to take down Scott. But
yeah. Interview with Jimmy Jacobs. I think this was really good. I mean, Jimmy Jacobs cuts a mean promo. This was a really good promo. He was talking about Johnny Gorgeous.
Johnny Gorgeous.
Talking about that he wasn't going to be so gorgeous anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to look in the mirror and he's going to see a fudged up face.
I know.
Kong is going to tear him apart, rip him apart, fudge him up.
Yeah.
Kick his ass. Yeah. It was a good interview. It was a good interview.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we had a promo from OVE. They were talking about that Impact is different, grittier.
I mean, their promos are a bit scary. I mean, damn. They're you really get into them. I mean, last time we had also some weird ass promo from them. I mean, sometimes I just fast
forward.
Fast forward it. It is terrifying. I don't know. Maybe
Stuff of nightmares.
It's
this is good. It furthers their kind of angle, and I hope they stick around. I mean, I hope they keep OVE being OVE for a long time. I think it's one of those things, because I think way too often bad guys or gimmicks that can become popular, turn into good guys because they're just popular because they do something well. But I think I like to see these guys. I mean, because Eli Drake is good. I mean, he's good, and he's good on the mic, and people like to say, Eli Drake and dummy. But I think he has managed to still be an asshole. And that's good.
That's good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we had the GWN moment of the week, which was Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode. I think at Bound for Glory a few years back. What did you think of this? I mean, I saw this. I fast forwarded through this one because I've seen it. I saw it when it was.
No, I mean, it's as always these old school. It was hard hitting. It had some great.
But this wasn't so old school though. I mean, if you look at it, the production is. I mean, yeah, sure, it was. It's probably 2014, 2015, or something like that.
Oh,
I think.
I thought it was like 2000.
No. This is the Jeff Jarrett Rhino match was older.
Okay.
And this was when Hulk Hogan was in the company.
Because I mean, and the thing I wanted to say is that these dudes are pretty big, but there were some high flying moves to some extent.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, they were good. I miss Bobby Roode. I wish he was still in Impact instead of being in the WWE where he's not doing anything really. And I miss Kurt Angle because he was really good. But I mean, his body's broken down. But anyway, Angle wins by cheating, and actually, it's the following night that James Storm wins the title by kicking Angle in the face, which we saw. And then Bobby Roode turns and becomes a heel, and probably becomes the best heel in Impact.
Did you? I don't know if you remember, but did you see how many plot twisters there were?
Yes, I know. How many back and forth? Yeah, absolutely. It was a good storytelling, great storytelling, actually. Then we had the KM Open Challenge, and it was funny because he was counting up. He said he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to fight these, certain people, the big stars. He wanted to fight what he thought were the big. He said were the big stars, which were actually all these people that he mentioned: Brooklyn Brawler, Barry Horowitz. They were old classic jobbers in the old WWE, WCW.
The thing is, he just comes out and he announces a new type of match, KM Open Challenge.
Yeah, it's just that John Cena had that a few years ago. It's not new.
And I mean, that's pretty much it. And he wants someone to come and face him and Brian
Cage comes out. And he gets. I mean, KM doesn't get any offense. He tries to run, but Cage grabs him.
He's like, you can just stay here. I'll just leave the mic. I'll just go around.
Brian Cage actually wins with ease. He finishes him with an F5 this time, actually, which is odd. Which is Brock Lesnar's finishing maneuver. I mean, which isn't uncommon that people use other people's finishers in other companies. But the thing is that it's exactly the same move as the Red Wedding. Rosemary's finish.
Okay, but I guess it was beautiful. But why would he use that?
Who knows?
Anyway, it was a really good match. I mean, KM got fudged up, so it's always good. But
you don't like KM,
and he really didn't stand a chance.
No. Next we had the Congo Kong vignette, which was also very good. It was awesome. I just think that, I mean, the thing is that I hope that this goes to another level. I hope that they'll do more with Jimmy Jacobs, even without Congo Kong in a way.
Also, like Jim Jacobs could go for his own.
No, but I mean, I think they could. I think they can do more. This is good, and I just want it to go bigger and more, next level. And then we had Congo Kong versus Johnny Impact.
Crazy match.
This
is next level.
Yes.
This is.
And I mean, I think the reason why it was next level is because Congo Kong and Johnny Impact just work really well together. Congo Kong does a lot of high offense moves, and Johnny Impact can get out of them.
Wow,
Uses his parkour style really well.
Yeah, and then we had the ending. We had this. Wait, did it pick up the stairs?
Well, first of all, Congo Kong threw the ref into the guardrail, and then Jimmy Jake, because that's what you do.
Cause, I mean, the ref was like, "Yeah, you can do this and that," and he's like, "Just take him with one arm and just yeah."
And then Congo Kong and Jimmy Jacobs placed the steel steps onto the ring, and Congo Kong just smashed Johnny Impact's face, and he started bleeding. There was blood for the first time. There wasn't any blood. There wasn't any real blood in Monster's Ball, but there was blood in this match.
And I don't know if it was from his nose or from his mouth. It was crazy.
He's not Johnny Gorgeous anymore. Now he'd just be Johnny Regular.
And then you have Kong like looking at me and doesn't give a flying fuck. It was amazing.
Very good. And then after that we see Impact obviously being cared for in the back. And then we had actually a bunch of vignettes for Redemption. There's a vignette from Ali versus Sooyoung, Petey Williams versus Matt Sydal, the tag titles, setting everything up. I mean, this is the go-home show for Redemption. A show that, by all means that I've heard, it was really good.
Definitely.
And then we had an interview with Eli Drake, and Scott Steiner also shows up.
I don't know, yeah. Eli has like an interview, and he's like not disappointed of losing. What was it? He didn't mind losing for Moose or something.
No, I can't remember what he said, but he didn't care because he had 2 cases and he's the best. He's double feasted, he said.
Yeah, double feasted. Yeah, and then Scott Steiner comes in from nowhere and like curses at LAX, calls them bitches, and they suck, and just goes ham on them. And I mean, who does that?
Well, Scott Steiner does that. That's why he's legendary. That's why he's legendary. Anyway, it was good. And then we actually head into the main event, which was Phoenix versus Pentagon Jr. versus Austin Aries. But we'll talk about, which was also the main event for Lucha Underground versus Impact. And let's talk about Lucha Underground versus Impact. We had recorded one, but it got, as you would say, fudged.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it now. First of all, your general impressions of Impact versus Lucha Underground. What did you think? This is your first time seeing Lucha Underground wrestlers, except for Drago, because Drago was in the Super X Cup.
Yeah, I think that the Lucha Underground dudes and wrestlers, I think they're more of badasses. They're more high flying, and that's a different style.
It's a different style. It's Lucha Libre style.
I just feel that they look more badass, and they are like allowed to do more stuff, more brutal stuff. Or I don't know if the Impact guys or the Impact wrestlers are like afraid of something happening, or they want to play safe. But Lucha, they just go for it. They go ham. They don't care.
They don't care.
So that was really amazing.
They're Mexican. Well, it started off with a 6-way with Matanza versus Caleb Conley versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. versus Matt Sydal versus Moose versus Jack Evans. Interesting. So, well, Matanza here is actually the only one who hasn't been in Impact before. He wrestles also under the name Jeff Cobb.
Oh, okay, Jeff Cobb.
He was a Olympic weightlifter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went. Oh yeah, but that makes sense. When there's wrestling. Okay.
Yeah. That's why he can lift people.
I
What did you think of this match?
think the Impact wrestlers did well in this match. I mean, they had more willpower and strength. However, I was still impressed by Matanza.
Yeah.
He was cool. He was good. And maybe because we haven't seen him before, but first impressions, good dude.
Good. Yeah, and it's always fun to see Jack Evans, who's a high flyer, Chavo Guerrero, and Caleb Conley. I think they're kind of like the figures that are more technical and don't do that many high flying impressive things. But actually, it was a good match, and I would actually like to see a Matanza Moose match in the future.
Now that's that's some next level shit.
Matanza wins with the Wrath of the Gods, his like super suplex.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Then we had the Knockouts Championship, Taya Valkyrie versus Ali. How did you like this match?
I mean, it was a good match. You know, we had some good back and forth, and Ali impressed me once again with the moves she uses. I mean, next level once again.
I think this is what I liked here was that the ladies didn't hold back like girls can do sometimes. I think this was really showcased that they both can go full force. And I think anybody who's watched Smash Wrestling, the matches between Rosemary and Ali, has seen that they can do quite a bit of stuff, and they can be quite brutal. But the thing is that what I'm thinking about here, what I'm thinking of, or was like in the beginning, people were kind of negative towards Impact in the fans. It was obviously a Lucha Underground crowd more than it was an Impact crowd, and they were kind of booing Impact at times. But I think in this match, they really went over onto Ali's side, and they really appreciated what she brought to the table. So it was fun.
And like I always say, when these two are competing against each other, Valkyrie, she's a huge person. Like the tallness of her, the height, the height of her is, I mean, huge. And you know, when Ali is coding good with her, and you know, they have a good combat, if you could say it like that. It's nice. I mean, I'm impressed. Wow.
Yes. Ali wins with the Codebreaker, keeps her title. Then we saw Teddy Hart and Scott Steiner versus OVE. This was a crazy match. Teddy Hart, a member of the Hart family, has been in Impact before, been in a lot of places, but then it's had a little bit of an attitude problem, had a little bit of a kind of weed problem, maybe.
Oh, Ring of Honor has been there?
I think he might have been in Ring of Honor too.
Oh yeah, because I don't know, familiar name-ish.
Anyway, they got Teddy Hart brought it to begin with. He did a lot of crazy moves, like a moonsault from the ring to the outside first before the bell rang. It was crazy, but then he got beat quite a bit from OVE, and Scott Steiner had to come and get the save.
But I still think OVE didn't really stand a chance here. I mean, they tried, but Scott never gave them a chance.
No.
Like, when they needed to rest, he kept going. He kept 100. Yeah. Wow.
Scott Steiner at least puts one of the OVE guys in the Steiner recliner and wins the match.
Hasn't anyone been able to come out of that?
The Steiner recliner? No, I don't think so.
Never?
No, I think that's like a move that he... No, I don't think any... Because he has other moves that he does too. He finishes people sometimes with like a belly-to-belly suplex from the top rope, or from the top corner. He has something called like the Steiner... He has a bunch of named moves that are called like after him. He's got a lot. But I can't remember. He had one that's kind of like the Steiner screw that he used a lot.
Okay.
It was kind of like a pile driver move.
But so, all of these moves, everyone always goes down? Like instant?
Yeah, he wins with them all the time.
Wow.
Anyway, so then we had Drago, we had a trios match. Drago, Aerostar, King Cuerno, also known as Fantasma, El Hijo del Fantasma in Impact, versus DJZ, Desmond Xavier, and Andrew Everett. Obviously, DJZ and Andrew Everett we haven't seen in quite a bit.
Yeah. And I was just a bit surprised to see Desmond. I mean, Xavier.
I didn't think he didn't do that much in this match.
but he was there.
He was there.
No, but he's a good wrestler, and we don't really see him that much. So I was happy to actually see him in this match. But like you said, he didn't do that much. But overall, I still think the Impact wrestlers did good.
Yeah, I think that in this one they could definitely hang. You know, you have DJZ and you have Andrew Everett and Desmond Xavier. They can definitely hang with the others. King Cuerno didn't do very much either. Actually, he was kind of I don't know what he was doing, but he anyway got the win with the Indian Deathlock. So that was good. That was a good match. It was a fun match. It was fast paced, just like a trios match is supposed to be. Then we had Trevor Lee coming out for a match against Famous B. Famous B, who was like a jobber initially in Lucha Underground. Now, I haven't seen Lucha Underground in a long time, so I don't know what he does now. But I know that in season 2 he became kind of like more of a manager.
Yeah, because that's what happens here as well. I mean, he comes out, he says like, "Yeah, you suck and shit," and then he comes. So he brings someone else out.
Yes, Marty the Moth, and Marty the Moth, who was in, I think, Tough Enough, maybe. He was in WWE for the developmental. This was a good match. I mean, Trevor Lee and Marty the Moth are just as crazy as each other.
As crazy, yeah.
So they did well together. Not much to say. Trevor Lee wins with a roll up. This was a wild, crazy match, and I think they pulled out all the stops. I think this was where they were basically just like the trios match, really equal. And I think this is where it really like started to pick up the pace of the matches. Especially the Mac kill shot versus LAX with Diamante. We haven't seen Diamante in a long time. Speaking of people we haven't seen in a long time. She was injured, but I don't know if that actually mattered. I mean, because she must have I don't know. We haven't seen her in almost a year.
Oh yeah, I mean, but could be. She could be injured.
Yeah, but with the tapings being the way they are, it might be difficult too. So, but anyway, so yeah, Mac and Killshot versus LAX. How did you like this?
I mean, the thing is,
what is the thing? Tell me what the thing is.
LAX always impresses me with their game. They are really, really, really good. And they go for the hard-hitting moves. They are high-flying. And the kill shot, they were totally alright. I totally understand that. But they have no chance against LA.
That's just your preference, though.
That's what happened in this match.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. What would you say?
No, I thought this was a really awesome match. Both the Mac and Killshot brought everything to the table that they could bring. LAX also. LAX wins with the Street Sweeper, but this was, I mean, I think the last like 4 or 5 matches of this show, people should go out of their way to watch.
But did you think Killshot had a chance?
No, they weren't going to win the titles. No.
Oh, well, there you go.
We had Eli Drake versus Brian Cage, which also was a hard-hitting affair. Of course, Eli Drake comes out and talks a bunch of smack. I think that's just what he does these days. Brian Cage comes out. And I mean, it wasn't much to say. It was a good match. They did good, both good, and it was fun to see Brian Cage getting some competition. I think was a big thing for me to see that he's not unstoppable, especially not. And you want it to be. I mean, I think that they're still like pushing Eli Drake, and I don't think that he should be in a match which is not competitive against Brian Cage. But Cage wins.
Yeah. I mean, even though Eli is really good, Cage is too big. He shows Eli who's the boss, and he just kept taking him down. Kept taking him down, kept smashing him into pieces, and
And then we had Eddie Edwards versus Jeremiah Crane or Sami Callihan in a weapons match.
Yeah, this is like some LAX craziness.
This was crazy. They were using guardrails. They were using canes. They were using everything. Chairs, they got beat. Both of them got beat, and I'm a little surprised that Eddie was even interested after having his orbital bone broken. Obviously, it had healed up some for this match, but I mean, seriously. Yeah.
And then, like, Eddie and Sammy, they never gave up. They kept going.
I don't know.
Oh, you hit me. Oh, my turn.
I think it was funny when they were asking, the ref asked Eddie Edwards who was going to give up, and he said, "Go back to NXT, Solomon Crane," which was funny because he was in WWE as Solomon Crane had left. So that was kind of fun.
Wow.
Anyway, Eddie. Jeremiah Crane gets the better of Eddie and is going to beat him with the bat again when Don Callas of Anthem, the CEO of Impact Wrestling or whatever he is, comes in and throws in the towel to stop the match. Which is, I mean, I think it was a good in a way furthers the feud, and I don't think that you wanted to end the feud between Jeremiah Crane or Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards at this stage.
It could still go.
Yeah,
you
and it is. It's play. They were fighting at Redemption. And then we had the main event. Alberto El Patron, not here. People were shouting, "Fuck El Patron" or whatever, or El Patron sucks or whatever they were thinking. And Phoenix. So it was Phoenix versus Pentagon versus Austin Aries, which was also the main event on April 19th. Recap. Which had different commentary, because the commentary here on Lucha Underground versus Impact was Matt Stryker. And Josh Matthews. Matt Stryker is obviously the commentator for Lucha Underground, but he has also been in the commentated with Josh Matthews in the WWE.
No, I mean, it was a long match. I mean,
it was brutal.
It was brutal, absolutely. And I'm really, really, really happy that Phoenix and Pentagon did not team up.
They did a little bit.
They did a little bit, but they could have fudged Austin up.
But they did fudge him up by giving him a double super kick in the face. That looked like, I mean, a lot of people were thinking that he was hurt, but I think he got rattled a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, they kind of teamed up, but they could have teamed up more than they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that.
Yes, because it was a lot of high flying moves, a lot of stuff, and at Redemption, I can't imagine that it would be any different. And the thing is that they seem like they're engaging Pentagon more because they're going to have a Twitch special called like Penta Goes something. Where he's going to be in the main event, so it'll be interesting. So there's going to be more Twitch streams coming up here. Anyway, Phoenix and Pentagon super kick Austin Aries in the face. Pentagon catches Phoenix in a pop-up spin around powerbomb, but Phoenix kicks out. Pentagon hits the Penta Driver, as they called it, for the win. He wins, and it was announced later, the night after, that it will be the same in main event, but the title on the line at Redemption. Yeah. Are you excited?
I am excited. And, I mean, this was the go-home show. And I think
no, this was the one before, but yes,
the one before.
Yes,
that was the
this is how we ended the go home show though, with this as the main event, a recap, which was good because it really gets people excited.
Exactly. So I'm pretty excited. I think they're going to do it well. I don't think we're going to get disappointed. Do you think we're going to get disappointed? No.
I've seen the first match and I was not disappointed. The only thing I think that I found was maybe a match that I could like, because they announced Taya Valkyrie versus Kiera Hogan. And it felt like, where are they going to be putting that match? It's going to be a stacked card. There's quite a bit of action going on. There's going to be quite a lot of excitement, stuff like that. Where are they going to? Because I think that's a match that might, slow down the pace. But maybe they want to do that. Maybe they want to have a come down period so people can take it a little easy.
Chill.
I'm excited. I know because what I've seen is at least that the first match is Drago versus Aristar, and the second match is the tag team titles.
Now it's some good stuff.
Yes. So how would you rate both of these shows?
Lucha versus Impact. B.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
And the go home show.
The go home show. Really, I mean, it's good. Yeah, B as well, or B minus.
Double B's.
Double B's.
Double B's. Yeah. Well, Nick. Thank you for stopping by again and doing this. I'm thinking that maybe on Friday No, Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you a call and we'll talk about redemption.
Boo.
Are you ready for that?
Can
you handle it?
I can.
We'll see, because Sooyoung's husband,
What?
Rich Swann,
Okay.
was backstage at the tapings, for the new tapings. And his theme song is Can You Handle It?
Can you? That's
Rich
the
Swann.
question.
Rich Swann. And because he was fired he was let go from the WWE because there was a domestic abuse accusation against him towards Sooyoung. They had an altercation. She jumped out of the car when they were driving on the highway. He ran after and pulled her back into the car. But she didn't file any charges, and as far as I know, they're together still.
A happy.
Well, it's the same with Moose, though. Moose was also accused of domestic abuse when he was in Ring of Honor. But it all depends on what domestic abuse is. I mean, I'm not saying that any kind of abuse is good abuse, stuff like. I mean that, but I mean I remember when what's his name, Aldo. Whatever his name is now, I can't remember. It's the same that he was, but he played. He also was Leo Kruger in WWE in NXT, and then he played Rose, Adam Rose was his name, for a South African wrestler, and he was accused also of domestic abuse because it was something like they got into an argument and his wife was going to call the police, and he grabbed the phone out of her hand and stuff like that. And then the police came, she did call the police, and then he got arrested for that. When it was I think a lot of people maybe in some situations maybe call the police a little bit early.
Okay.
No, but I mean, because people called the police on Alberto El Patron when he was having an argument with his girlfriend. So, and of course, it's always good for the police to kind of go in there. But if it's more of an argument that might get, a little bit physical for whatever reason, it doesn't always mean that it's actually that Moose beats his wife on a regular basis. Maybe it was just something happened. He was restraining her. It was the same with Bram, if you remember Bram, the British wrestler with a big beard. He was accused of kidnapping his girlfriend because he wouldn't let her leave the house because they were having an argument.
That's not kidnapping, is it?
No, but I mean,
it is when you take them hostage.
That's for money. But anyway, but you understand.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, it could have been that Sooyoung and him got into an argument on the road. She got pissed off. She just said, "Screw this, I'm leaving," and she ran out of the car. And he just well, you can't run out of the car on the highway. Maybe he wanted to talk it over. So he grabbed her, put her in a headlock, and pulled her back in the car. Let's talk this through. And if people see that,
I mean, obviously,
so,
I mean, that's not weird.
No.
That you would call the police if someone, you're coming out.
But I mean, with the situation being as it is, the WWE doesn't want to take any chances.
So they're
So anyway. But anyway, so he was, and I would think, and I've actually proposed that Rich Swann should be in the in Impact for a long time, because I thought, and he's actually friends with Sami Callihan.
Really?
I mean, you know that. You've heard them talk. Remember that podcast?
Oh yeah. I'm dumb.
With Matt Cadabra?
But the thing is,
Yeah, the thing is.
The thing is a lot. Will Sooyoung and
No, they won't.
husband,
No.
will they have a storyline?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It's he's black.
Yeah,
I mean, not that that matters, but it just feels like it's so obvious that they would be, since everybody knows that they're a couple.
Oh, it wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah, and it feels what are we going to do here? And not that I didn't mean to say that he's black, so they couldn't do that. It was more of it seems like it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I mean, Sutter and Ali aren't they?
They're I don't know if they're married, but I think they might be married.
And they have storylines, so.
Well, not so much anymore.
No, not so much. Yeah.
And I think they try to get away from that because of them being a couple in real life, and I think it just kind of makes it so obvious. Well, Nick, this has been fun. We'll talk on Saturday again. You guys can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter and on Stitcher and everything like that. That's all in the show notes.
If they can handle it.
If they can handle it. If they can Rich Swann it.
And
Anyway, so for Nick E. Anderson, this has been Chris Mary Holtman. What do we say?
Boo.
Boom.